Alright guys, we got another Save My Disaster from Mr. Charch PVT 3000 MMR. Here is a classic tale of a race said to be so powerful it needs additional unit supply costs just to balance the game. But even though my strength was greater, I could not overcome the defenses of the Terran base. Nearly 30% more units made, but they were sadly also units lost and I still could not manage to survive. What could I do to overcome this disaster? I challenge you, Pig, to take back the title of Protoss Imba and destroy the Terran opponent. Take over at 17 minutes. Okay, so we have no context on what's going on in this game. Just taking a look at this map very quickly. It is going to be, we're on like 4 bases, 17 minutes, which means they're all mined out. We've just taken our gold. You can see workers just got transferred. This base has also just been taken. So we've been on 3 bases for 17 minutes, which means we've barely been mining for the last, you know, like few minutes of this game. We're not mining that much other than gas. And yet we have a 2,500 2K bank. Oh my lord, and there's a giant Terran army on our doorstep. I have no idea what our unit count is. I'm just gonna F2 and figure it out as we go. All right, this is gonna get ridiculous very quickly. All right guys, so we're just transferring probes. We've got some zealots here. First instinct when you see an enemy army that you're not ready for is F2, pull away. Now we also need to grab all of our gateways, right? And we can try to warp in all those. So we're gonna make more zealots. And I guess we can try to just jump on top, but the Colossus didn't go in, so let's pull back. Let's try and build a battery here. And we're going to try and bait stims out. So we're going to use some Colossus Micro, make an Immortal, because he's very heavy on the Marauders. I notice we're just trying to bait more stims out here, guys. We're also going to just make Zealots. Why Zealots? Zealots are just the best unit for straight up fighting. I'm going to make sure I take a Pylon here and a Pylon here. As well as transfer some of those workers. And, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a disaster. Let's go for it. I think we go for it because this stim should be almost gone. And we should be able to warp in more zealots. As long as we can get the Colossus on the Marines, it can do good damage, but... Okay, I think... Oh, we've got 3-3! Oh, this game's in the bag if our opponent didn't upgrade really well, guys. If our opponent didn't upgrade really well, like 3-3 is just going to win us this game. We're going to make some Stalkers here. We need to mine these minerals open. We should have done that a while ago, because this otherwise it's just really hard to defend. I don't know why we have so few gateways when we have thousands of resources in the bank. Alright, we're going to hold position the workers so they get deprioritized. Alright, we're going to try and go... I don't know, I'm kind of surprised he's still attacking right now. But he's only on 2-1 upgrades, so there's no way to lose this game. Alright, so this is yet again, guys, a disaster where, I mean, we just had no production, no units for some reason. And we have like 3-3 really at a pretty decent time in this game. We just don't have any particular way of using it. For some reason, this base was taken. Looks like we lost that base. And all of our stuff was still rallied there. I'm going to just set my camera locations up because we haven't had a chance to do that yet. And you can go there. You can go there. You can go there. You guys can go there. What's my work count? 75? Oh, that's insane. I didn't mean to build disruptors, by the way, guys. That was a hotkey mistake. Just make as many zealots as we can. Keep making plasma shields. I don't think we can lose this game. We've got all these extra gateways coming up now. We can make a sentry for guardian shield. Lots and lots of zealots. Now, at this stage, we can see there's a base there. Let's just send some zealots out. Or if he just keeps attacking, this should be an easy win. Because we can just kind of jump on him now. We don't even need to use the disruptors. I'm not going to use those because I don't expect Sage Freak to be good enough at dodging. Blink forward, focus fire. Don't be. It's 3-3. This was... So Sage is like, oh, I'm only 3.7. This is like really hard. There was nothing disastrous about this scenario except for the fact that we didn't have much production and there was like a kind of scary army on our doorstep. But the fact that we had 3-3 double robo and our opponent was on pure Marauder tank and we had 3-3 zealots, zealots alone beat that army. This one is a really simple lesson you guys can take, which is, as a Protoss player, organize your build and build gateways. What I'm seeing here from Chachi is what I see from a lot of Protoss players, which is basically they have a wide variety of tech and upgrades, and they just never have an organized moment where they build gateways. And how do I know this? I know this because I look at the gateway placement. Look at my gateways. I throw down gateways in nice, neat, organized lumps where I'm like, bam, build 5 gateways, bam, 6 gateways. You know, it's you can tell it's kind of like an organized thing that's just part of the build. Or it's like, okay, I'm floating 3,000 and need to spend money. Let's do it. Whereas you can tell Chachi's kind of like, I should build a gateway. A bit later. Oh, I think I might need another gateway. You know what? I might need another gateway. And you end up spending all this APM building these gateways at different timings. And it's like, just build lots of gateways at once. There's no reason for us to be 17 minutes in, 2K, 1K resources, and only be on like, was it 6 gates, 7 gates, something like that? So yeah, you can see here, this should be so easy, and it's all because your upgrades were amazing. So let's go back in here, and let's actually take a look at the initial replay. But you did great, Sage. You did fantastic. Like, honestly, there's nothing you can do there. I have a rule of thumb. For every base, I have at least 3 gateways, if that can help us freak. That's one way to think of it. A lot of times you'll have a build where you'll get like a fast third, double forge, a robo off just like 3 or 4 gates, right? But you should be very aware, always before taking gases on your third base, go up to at least 8 gateways, right? So you should, if you do a build like that, you should be building like 4 or 5 gateways all at once very soon, like afterwards. Like, you should be aware of the fact that you've been greedy. I watch a lot of Protoss players on the ladder, and I can tell they don't even realize that they're playing greedy, because they'll just sit there on like 4 gateways and they'll build a 5th gate randomly build a 6th gate, and I'll be like, what are we doing? Like, build more stuff. Like, come on, man. So you can see this is like a 3-gate blink opening. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild here. Pretty standard stuff, right? You know, okay. Except we just canceled one of our gateways for some reason and built a robo. So it's a 4-gate. Oh, we're doing 4-gate blink robo. Oh my God, what was this early game? So we just didn't pull probes away at all from 2 libs, but our opponent had no defense. So we blinked 5 stalkers in and we killed like 100 workers with it or something. Oh my gosh, blink away, please blink away. Oh no, we didn't kill nearly as much as we could have. Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, both sides just get slaughtered here. I think we get ahead by the looks of it though. I would say this is pretty good for Protoss. Unfortunately, we weren't chronoing probes during it. We really should double chrono probes and build a third base right now. Instead, we're going to go for a few more gateways. And I would ask the question, why? Why are we going 7 gates on 2 base after taking big economic damage? This makes no sense. If we were making charge right now and just saying, screw it, I'm going to resaturate my minerals and do a 2-base charge all in, it makes sense. But that money, we've got 4 gates, which is already amazing production for this early in the game, and a robo. All we need to do is build a 3rd base and hold down the probe key. For some reason, we're going 7 gates, but that means we don't have money to even warp in units. So building these gateways is actually stopping us from building army, meaning we are actually in a more dangerous position now than we otherwise would be. So from there, we've gone single forge. It's okay. The double lib harass. Dude, this player is funny. Cool dog. 3rd base is finally up. Workers, I mean, we desperately need a 4th because the game's been so messy. Our main's already half mined out. So once you transfer those workers here, you're already saturated on this base. So we're very slow to take a 4th base as well. We have no map vision. We should be building pylons on the edges of the map. There's like a lot of things we should be doing, right? We're also going for observer movement speed, which is like the most niche upgrade. Not a fan. Not a fan. We still haven't transferred out of our main. No, we did, but for some reason we over-transferred from this base. Okay. It's better to be in the red, guys. I think Charge has what I call red worker syndrome, where if they see a red worker above the nexus, they freak out and think it's bad. Guys, you should always be a little above saturation rather than a little below. This is leaving money on the table, leaving money on the table, leaving money on the table on these 3 bases. We're only at 54 probes here, so you want to try and let those numbers get into the red. It'll make you a much better player. Now, at this point, we've got map control, which is great, but what are we doing with it? For some reason, we've got an observer on the side of the map when we should have an observer here and an observer here. We're also going forwards for an attack, But does this attack make sense? We have 2 Colossus with range, 13 Stalkers, 3 Sentries, 1 Immortal, 10 Zealots. I don't think it's the worst idea if we were to morph like 2 Archons and a full round of Zealots and go, but we're only on 7 Gateways. So, I don't know, it feels like a bit of a weird attack in my mind. We're going to warp in Zealots and go for it. Okay. Take out the command center, blink on it. Oh, I mean, that's huge. There's no need for us to try to win the game right now, but we can if we want to. It's weird, though, to me, that we wouldn't send an observer in and actually see what we're attacking into. This is something I see a lot at low levels, is players just decide to move out, and they scout only with the attack itself. Whereas for me, I would have either made a hallucination and sent it in, ran a Zealot into the army, or moved that observer over earlier while moving across the map. So I'd actually at least know what I'm going into, whereas Chachi's only finding out now what they're attacking into, and they move commanded forwards, which pulled all their Zealots back after charging, which is really bad. So this is an atrocious fight with no macro behind it. Despite that, we're still going to do kind of okay there, but it was just a really unnecessary battle. And you can see we're warping in Zealots in the main afterwards. If that happened during the fight, or if we just poked and rotated around with our army and maybe tried to poke and prod, this could have been a much safer way of getting ourselves miles and miles ahead. We still haven't started macroing behind this. Now we're starting to build probes and a Colossus. Second Robo's up, but it's not control grouped. Wait. Our Robos aren't control grouped. Chachi! You've only got your gateways? Oh no, wait, gateways and Robos are on the same group? But why? You might as well just put your Robos on, you might as well just use the default gateway hotkey if you're gonna do that, right? That just seems weird, but whatever, to each his own. All right, so at this point, we've got 2-2 on the way. We're making Colossus one at a time. We're moving forward with our army again. We've still made no attempt to take map control. This observer is still in the most useless position it could possibly be. We need observers on the front, and we should have pylons or zealots scattered around the map, seeing what's going on. We have no idea what's happening here. So we're playing blind. We're at a point now where we're established on 4 bases. Like, we could be adding gateways, getting good map vision, adding storm or disruptors. Instead, we're breaking rocks, which is not terrible, and we're just going to do a 2-2 timing of the same thing. Now, the worst part of this is that we're spread out right now. That's okay, because his army's out of position. I don't know what that force field's meant to do. I guess stop the retreat. Just click the command center. Please click that command center. No! Our Colossus is in missile turret range. I mean, we're getting great splash on the bio. I think we won the game there if we just kept fighting. I'm not sure. We don't have a warp prism on the front. In general, committing to an attack without a warp prism is a really big problem. Youchie, youchie. Youchie, youchie, youchie. I like having all production on the same hotkey. A few people say they do it. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's fine. It's not the worst thing. It just seems very weird to me, but that's okay. Does it always select gateways first or something else? Okay, so now we're going a double Nexus, 3-3 upgrades. Still no attempt to take any map vision or map control until now. And we're only now building a gateway. So this is the question, guys. Would you really build a 5th and a 6th Nexus on 7 gateways? That seems crazy to me. Right? And what happens in this next fight? Like, how do we lose this next fight so bad? Because it looks like the game's over in our favor at this point. Like, there's no way to lose this game, even though we've taken awful aggressive engagements pretty much every time. Are we just going to do the same thing again? Okay, well, I mean, fair enough. We're once again clicking the command center, I think. Oh, but we're not clicking the command. Can we just make up our mind? Okay. Okay, our Immortals and Colossus aren't fighting the bio, but our Stalkers are. Okay, we had some misclicks there. Dude, these fights are so bad. Look at your army comp before you go in for an engagement. There's no Zealots or Archons in here. Okay, so guys, this is a really good lesson for Protoss players. If you're warping in Zealots on one side to do harassment damage, and you've just got a ranged army of Stalker Sentry Colossus, This is an army. Its entire job is to picket units, do damage, and then when his army comes, pull away and go elsewhere. This is not a standing and fighting army. We don't have any Zealot Archon. We don't have any Disruptors or Storm. You're meant to just kill some stuff. Oh, his army's here? Pull back, rotate around to the other angle, warp in some Zealots and click them into this base while your main army runs up here and kills this command center or this command center. There's no reason for us to be just standing and fighting with no forward warp in point in any of these engagements at all. And that's what really kills me, because we're so far ahead. And we also haven't built extra gateways, so we're only on 8 gates behind this. Which is why this game is so close, is because basically our approach has been a move and then cast a few spells, or a move and maybe click on some Vikings with some Stalkers. But remember, the way this army works is if you force them to chase you, they're going to be clumping up the more they chase you, the more effective your force fields are going to be. In all of these fights, what have we seen? Chachi's been attacking buildings with most of their army, number one. Number two, the Terran gets to spread out and come in with a nice angle before the fight starts. Number three, we're just not building extra production. We don't have a forward warp in point, so we don't have Zealots or anything moving in. Yeah. And why are we fighting here? No! Why are we stopping to type? The unit's lost time is disgusting. It's because you're taking bad fights. Imagine if there's Zealots or DTs attacking elsewhere. So the real thing Chachi just doesn't have a handle on is the fact that it's so scary to fight that army as Terran, unless the Protoss just attacks into a choke point and A moves and loses their whole army, which is what we keep doing. So as a Protoss, you really should be poking forward with your army, force their whole army to F2 over there and stim and react, and then you've just got Zealots going in elsewhere, and you can take little skirmishes and shave off units, but it's about taking good fights. And since we're not really macroing during it, it doesn't matter if your micro is good or not. You can just poke in, his army's there, move around, rotate to a new front. His army's there, rotate to a new front, and mix in some Zealots that just get clicked into mineral lines as well, and you will absolutely crush it. Yeah, so we're not pulling back. Remember, guys, when you're under attack, what do? Pull behind your bases, chrono units, make units non-stop, and then you can take it out. But unfortunately, we just kind of A-move into it. I mean, he actually cleaned it up probably even easier than I did. Okay. We win this game, then. There's no way to lose. So Chachi... I mean, Chachi, you've won this game. It's game over. It's 2-1 against 3-3. There's literally no way to lose. There's an accidental Panic Thor that got built. How could you possibly lose? There's no way. Did you send me a victory? Okay, Chachi sent a victory, right? Or is Chachi just going to rage quit? Why are we attacking a planetary? What are we doing? What? What? You literally can't lose this game. Chachi! Even now, you can't lose. Terran has 2-1 upgrades. You cannot win as a Terran here with 2-1 upgrades against 3-3. Like, Zealot A-move will win this game. We're even building 6 gateways. You've got 4K, 3K in the back. You can't lose. What? What? We have a really good question from Sage, who I just played against. Said, okay, clearly this isn't really winnable, but what would you do to make the best game out of it as a Terran? So as a Terran, what I would do is I would immediately... I mean, the economy is so bad. You're already dead at this point at 17 minutes. You'd need to go back a bit earlier to like 15 minutes because you've lost all your... It's only 40 SC, but this Terran has no economy the entire game. This Terran never went past 40 workers. The entire game. This is the highest, this is the high point of the workers. 42 workers at 8 minutes and 45 seconds. What? I mean, the Terran's just dead. Okay, but generally, let's assume at 17 minutes, the Terran has like 65 workers or 70 workers, okay? What would you do at that point? Build more command centers, assuming, make sure you've got a second engineering base so you can go double upgrades to start catching up. add ghosts, right? To help deal with the shields portion, at least, of the enemy units. And I would basically try to get up a second starport, fusion core, and range libs. And I would just turtle on 4 to 5 bases and just try to get range libs out. But yeah, this Terran was dead the entire time. This Terran, it's purely just, when you attack as a Protoss, if you have an overwhelming number of zealots, you can kind of just A-move. And with any other army, it's very much like a use Guardian Shield, shoot, pull back, shoot, pull back. Like defensive stutter steps really good. Marines get wrecked by Colossus if you're pulling back, whereas every time we were attacking our Colossus, we're just attacking buildings or single Marauders. So our Colossus would never really do anything. Stalkers and Sentries are just shit units in general. Their job is just to be like a general ranged support unit, right? So anytime you're attacking with Stalker Sentry, they achieve almost nothing. So keep that in mind as well. They're just there to like Guardian Shield and shoot down Vikings, really. GG's.